Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World, where today we are taking a look at a brand new knife I've added to my personal collection that is one of the coolest knives that not only I've handled in the past year or so, I truly think this is one of the coolest knives I've ever handled, just because of the uniqueness of the lock with this guy. To me, it's the best of every world in this knife, and what we are talking about is right here in my hand. This is the Golden Designworks Caliber. Now, before I go any further into this review, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. Now, let's take a look at some overall specs on this knife right here. We have an overall length coming in at 8.5 inches, a blade length of 3.75 inches, and a blade thickness at 118 thousandths. We are looking at a Magna Cut blade with a heat treat in the range of 61 to 63 HRC, a Wharncliffe / reverse Tonto type of blade, a wickedly thin flat grind with a handle thickness at 480 thousandths, and a handle length of 4.75 inches. We have some very nice knurled titanium for the handle material. Now, there's another option of fluted as well, which is basically just like kind of straight lines going up and down it. But I have to say, I definitely prefer the knurled. It's very, very nice in hand. Looks and feels phenomenally well. The lock here, the Fusion lock. The coolest button lock you will ever see in your life. And I'll explain to you why when we get to the handle, because this is the farthest thing from a regular button lock. It is a button lock, but it's going to blow you away when you see it, and I'll show you in just a second. We have a user of a right hand only tip up carry. I believe there were left-handed options available. But unfortunately, these guys were a pre-sell. You had to get in on the pre-order to get one. A little more information on that here in just a second. Weight coming in at 4 ounces, manufactured by Best Tech, and a price of $319. That's $319, not $390. Take a look at some size comparisons here. Let's bring back some knives that I have not had on the channel in quite a while that I just still love. Let's bring out some Microtechs. This here is the Microtech MSI, which is a phenomenal size comparison. And let's bring out the OG, the Microtech SOCOM Elite. Both of these knives, especially the MSI, but they both measure up somewhat well. The SOCOM Elite's actually noticeably bigger, but this is a very, very good comparison here between those two right there, the MSI and the Caliber. And then let me bring in two Spyderco's, another one of my favorite companies out there. They do such a darn good job. Right there, as well as this right here. And I believe, don't quote me on this because I am almost positive that the name Golden Designworks is from Golden, Colorado. So there's a very close relation here. If that's correct, I could have swore it was. I'm almost positive this guy is in Colorado. And Golden is obviously where he's from. So, yeah, take that with a grain of salt, but I'm like 99% sure. But nowadays, there's so much knife information flooding my brain. Sometimes it's hard to keep everything straight. But okay, there's your size comparisons. Let's get to talking about this thing. First of all, the blade. It is amazing. It's one of the best Wharncliffe reverse Tonto blades I've ever come across. Really like that. So if you set it on the table, that's actually really hard to see. But here, let's just line it up on this line on the grid here. And you can see kind of that angle that the blade kind of goes up at. So if it's sitting straight, the blade is, coming up. It's significantly raised off the table. Very nice angle for a Wharncliffe blade. Not too straight. But that little angle back makes it that much easier to really get in and power through cuts, which is very, very nice. Super thin edge coming down to about 15.5 thousandths behind the edge on this. Extremely wicked sharp. And of course that Magna Cut, very tough, strong steel with very, very nice edge retention. and an incredible sharpening choil there. You have a lot of life on this blade, which is a very nice thing. And there's the Magna Cut marking right there. And now you're probably seeing this. Are you seeing what's on the handle here? This is a button lock, but you're seeing a frame lock. We'll talk more about that. I had to kind of point that out here. But first, rest of the blade real quick. Very nice jimping up there on the spine and lots of it. All the jimping you need that's very effective, not too aggressive. Just what I love on a good big blade. And the choil here. Perfect for my finger. It feels really, really good in hand. And this is also a knife that would, I think, fit really good in most big hands because you got a nice big choil there, got a lot of extra length on the handle, and a lot of blade to work with. So this is a man's knife. It's a knife for anyone, but you know, if you have bigger hands, you're gonna really like this guy as well. Now that we've said all the wonderful things there is to say about this blade, not to mention the fact that I really love this blast and satin flats. That's really, really nice contrast there. Now, let's get into the handle. Let's talk about the knurling real quick. It feels great. It looks great. There's not enough knives with knurled handles out there, in my opinion. It's just a really, really good functional texture for a knife that's going to be used and used hard. Really, really like that. The clip back here is very nice, very comfy. As you can see, it's milled and is very clean, goes great on the knife. No hot spots, in and out of the pocket just fine. All the good things you want with a clip, you pretty much have. You're going to see about that much out of the pocket. If that's a big deal for you, so be it. I don't think it's a big deal at all. I think it's totally fine. Now, let's get to this elephant in the room here. So here's the button lock, and as you can see, works great. You can deploy it out, and then if you don't want to use the button lock, you can use the frame lock. Now, how does that work? Well, here you go. Let's look deeper. So as you can see, there's a post back here that goes from the button to the other side, and the frame lock bar itself actually has a milled area that goes back to the button. So when you press the button, you're disengaging the frame lock, and that's amazing. The lockup is fantastic on this. And of course, it's a frame lock, guys. So it's going to be as secure as the grip in your hand. If you're squeezing hard, it's not going to fail on you. It's a beautiful thing. It is the best of every world when it comes to a lock because you have a rock solid lockup that is secured with your grip. You have the amazing fidget factor of the button lock. And there is a detent ball in here. This operates on a detent, a true detent like you're used to on most knives. You can see it right back there above my thumb. Let's see, do I have it? I do have a flashlight within reach. Let's get that light on and let's point it in there. I think I can show it to you. Whoa, yeah, well, this is always harder than I think it is. There's that detent ball. You can see it just fine right there. And it's a nice size detent ball. It's the size of a detent ball that a knife this size should have with a big blade. So the action is just freaking amazing. Nice, crisp, satisfying detent. The jimping on the back up top here, you get those kind of cormorant vibes, like the Kaiser Cormorant, because you have the front flipper, you have the rear flipper, you have the deployment hole, but it's such a completely different knife in terms of aesthetics. The design on this thing is just gorgeous. It's so uniform, very clean, nothing poking out where it doesn't look like it should be. That middle finger flick is so freaking good, and like I said, you can literally deploy it any way you want. It's just up to you and what you prefer. And yes, this thing is absolutely amazing. Now, like I alluded to earlier, this was a pre-order knife. This is made by a very small company. Golden Designworks is, I'm sure at this point they're probably growing because this is one of the coolest knives of the year by far. And like I said, sincerely mean this, one of the coolest knives I've ever handled personally. I love the way this thing works. It gives me everything I want in terms of a lock strength, fidget factor, and of course it's an excellent design too. So Golden Designworks, I'm assuming, is going to really kind of jump, maybe skyrocket from the success of this knife here. He's got another design in the works. All the information is going to be linked below. I'm no affiliate. This guy doesn't have affiliates. He's just designing knives and crushing his own thing right now. But I want to let you guys know that's the goal of this channel, right? It's nice. It's nice to have affiliate links and all that good stuff. But sometimes it's just about getting the word out and letting you know what you need to check out. This is one of them. I am so freaking happy with this. This is definitely a knife that falls into the never sell category for me. It's just not happening. It's my size. It's my type of knife. It's perfect. And I think a lot of people would love this. But now with that being said, like I said, these are sold out to the best of my ability, to the best of my knowledge. I think you might have brought some to Blade Show, but obviously Blade Show's come and gone. I would be shocked, though, if there wasn't another run of these things. There's got to be another production run. I was just really happy to I kind of just fell into this. I saw someone post about it on Instagram, and I saw that thing right there. And once I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm hooked. I have to check it out. So glad I got in on this pre-order because it was so worth it. I waited like 6 months to get it, and it was worth every second. Actually, I think I waited like 9 months. I think I paid for this sometime late last year, and I just got it 2.5 weeks ago, maybe. No regrets. I would get on the pre-order of this again, and again. This is a phenomenal knife. Quite possibly knife of the year, overall champion. I don't know. I don't know yet. There's still a whole half the year to go, but man, this thing's amazing. So if you have a chance to even just handle one of these things, try and handle it because it is so satisfying, so good in every way. It's one of the few knives that's come across my desk recently that I thought is worth the asking price, like $319. I don't care where it's manufactured. It's that good. The Golden Designworks caliber, guys. Let me know what you think of this. It is one amazing knife in every single way. Definitely a big time personal favorite of mine and one that I would highly recommend. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think of it. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.